What is going on, Florida State Nation, Seminole family, and the 863 tribe? It's your boy Pope, a.k.a. Alo, a.k.a. the goddamn truth. And you already know you're on 863 Seminole TV. And as you can see, I'm back in this monkey suit. I'm back in the monkey suit. Back doing the bull, the BS. I'm clean. I need a haircut, but I'm clean shaven, looking like a damn teenager again. Anyway, y'all ain't came here for that. I want to touch on this conference realignment and what I think the end game may be, what I think it kind of could be, and what it should be are probably two vastly different things. This isn't so much about the Seminoles, even though the Seminoles play a part in this. The problem is, I don't think Florida State wants to make a move, is willing to make a move. Like, I don't know, when you start talking about my nose, the conversation gets blurry as to whether they would make a move or should make a move. But anyway, if you haven't heard, Texas and Oklahoma are, from some reports, 24 to 48 hours away from informing the Big 12 that they are all but done with the Big 12, whereas then assumed that they will be joining the SEC, and the SEC Power Conference continues. This does wonders, in my opinion, for both programs. Both programs, especially in more recent years, Oklahoma still recruits at the high clip. Oklahoma, I believe, has made damn near every playoff. They didn't make it last year, but they've been on almost every playoff every year. This does nothing but boost them. And the same thing for Texas. Texas gets the same boost that A&M got. When A&M joined the SEC, they were a mid-tier Big 12 program. Getting whooped by Texas every year. At best, we're having 8-7 win seasons. They go to the SEC. You get the boost in recruiting, so on and so forth. Texas A&M is talking about being a potential dark horse for the college football playoff this year. So I think it does wonders for Texas. I know people want to try to be like, oh, Texas ain't going to compete. Stop. The Longhorn brand is going to do nothing but thrive in the SEC, and the same thing for the Oklahoma Sooners. Here's the deeper talk, though. The deeper back and forth, so to speak. What happens to the Big 12? And now, this is a mega move for the SEC, which we already kind of know that. They were already the premier conference in college football. Now you have the entire state of Texas in the SEC for the two programs in Texas that really matter, in my humble opinion. They're in the SEC. Oklahoma is now in the SEC. So they were the two teams the only two teams that were keeping the Big 12 afloat. So the Big 12 is all but done. If this happens and Texas and Oklahoma depart, the Big 12, I believe, will just be consumed by the Pac-12 and probably the Big 10. I'm pausing because I'm trying to get my thoughts straight, because what you're seeing is the SEC. What the SEC is gearing itself up for, in my opinion. I've spoken about this before. spoken about this months ago. I speak about it damn near on a regular basis. That I believe that the NCAA will soon no longer be needed. Well, I think this is just one of the first dominoes to fall. And now what you're getting is an SEC power. And I believe what may end up happening, what should happen and what may end up happening is very, very different, I think. And I don't even know what's, put it like this, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to say what should happen, or what I believe should happen, is when you look at the SEC and you've got Bama, Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, just right there. I ain't even mentioned Auburn or LSU. Okay, so look at that. What needs to happen is we just need to go 2 power conferences. This is what needs to happen. I don't know if that's what's going to happen, because the problem with what I'm saying is I don't think that the Big Ten schools, especially your Ohio States and Michigan, I don't think they want to see a Florida State or Miami in that conference, because they already, especially Ohio State, they already recruit the state of Florida extremely well anyway. But what should happen, what needs to happen, if in a perfect world, I'm Florida State, Miami, Clemson, and honestly, I'm just throwing Miami in there because of the brand name, not because of anything they've done on the field recently, but for the brand name alone, I definitely think they help. Those 3 programs in the ACC need to hit up Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, and they need to hit up USC, UCLA, and Oregon. And we need to get that we need to get that moving. We need those 9 schools in one conference to combat Texas, Oklahoma, Alabama, LSU, Florida, Georgia, Auburn. And I feel like I'm even forgetting some schools. Is getting ridiculous. I don't really care too much about the Mississippi schools, but they're there. You know, South Carolina's there. Tennessee, but you know, Tennessee's not really. But it's really what kind of needs to happen, because right now, if you're a kid, how do you recruit against the SEC? They're going to be playing the best football. They already arguably play the best football in the country. Adding Texas and Oklahoma, those are powerful. Like, I don't know if we kind of understand how powerful those brand names are. Those are powerful brands that you're adding to that conference. A conference that already has Alabama, LSU, Georgia, and Florida. So you need to absorb the Big 12. You need to disperse the ACC. What do we have it for? And disperse the Pac-12, because no, and this is going to get a little off topic, but I'm about to rant here about the ACC. To hell with the ACC. I don't know why Florida State is in the ACC. I don't know why we continue to be loyal to this damn conference. This is a basketball conference. It's all they cared about. It's all they've ever cared about. And it's been that way. It's going to stay that way. They care more about their Carolina schools. They care about North Carolina and Duke. They don't care about... ACC has been the last conference to get on board that football is king and that football runs your university. The Big Ten's been on it. The Big 12's been on it. The SEC's been on it. Even the Pac-12 finally figured it out. ACC was the last school wanting to get on board. They were the last school trying to get a network deal. They were the last conference trying to get a network deal. You know, the last conference trying to tap into this this big money, and now they're behind the curve and playing catch up in every aspect. And they've done nothing but disrespect the one program that kept them afloat for 20 plus years. Since we've joined the conference, we've been the premier program in the conference. Don't let the last 5 or 6 years fool you, people. So I don't understand it, why why Florida State continues to be loyal to this conference. To hell with it. Get rid of it. Personally, I don't care if Clemson stays or goes. I'm putting Clemson in there because they're a national power as of right now. And it holds a lot of weight if you can convince Clemson and Miami to pull out with you. But at the end of the day, I just want Florida State to play Miami and Florida every day. If you can convince Miami to pull out with you and garner some interest from the Big Ten, I mean, Notre Dame's got to be in that conversation too, right? Because Notre Dame alone isn't enough to have the ACC on par with the SEC. In my opinion. You could add West Virginia with the collapse of the Big 12. Maybe adding Notre Dame and West Virginia is the move. Potentially you could add a couple of AAC teams, but I don't see how that is comparable to what the SEC just did. And I'm not a conference fanboy. I could give a fuck less about what conference you're in. You know what I'm saying? But you do have to account for the fact that your conference has to be competitive to recruit. Kids want to play against top-notch competition. Or let me rephrase that. Kids want to be in big-time games and moments, especially with this NLI. Kids want to be on national TV. Bama in Texas, Bama in Oklahoma every year or every other year, whatever the case. Georgia and Texas, those games are going to be massive. Adding Cincinnati and West Virginia, I'm sorry, isn't the equivalent of what the SEC just did. Notre Dame, maybe, but you got to find a bigger partner to come with Notre Dame, or that's just not cutting it for the ACC to keep par. The better conversation or the better thing to do would be to say, we got to fight fire with fire. Notre Dame, Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, USC, UCLA. I won't even throw Oregon in there. Florida State, Miami, and Clemson. Let's get a conference. Because now that's premier. That's combating what the SEC's doing. I can rock with that. And then to fill out the conference, add whoever you got to add. Then you would add Oregon. That would be good to add Oregon. But the main teams need to be in the discussion first. But as of right now, the SEC is about to do in college football is going to be disgusting. It's going to be nasty. You're not going to really be able to recruit against it. Texas is going to lock. Again, that's saying all this stuff happens. Texas is going to lock that state up again. It hurts A&M more than it hurts anybody else as far as schools in the SEC, because I think I even read that this move was kind of done behind Texas A&M's back. That they weren't a part of the consult meeting or whatever the hell you want to call it. A&M didn't have a say-so in this move. That's a blow for A&M, because it's the one thing they had over Texas in recruiting. You can come to the SEC where the big boys play. Well, that's not the case anymore. Texas is already a Longhorn state. It's just going to revert back to the natural order of things. It is going to be cool to see Texas and Texas A&M playing again every year. That's good for college football, in my opinion. But yeah, Texas A&M takes the biggest blow in all of this, and frankly, the rest of college football. This shakes up some stuff. It's big time for that league. If you're an SEC fan, you should be excited, even if your team is not that good. The more money, the money that's going to be generated, even the money's in that league's already ridiculous. The money you're about to get now is going to be off the charts. Your Mississippi States, your Vanderbilt, like these programs are gonna, Kentucky, they're gonna get funneled plenty of money to potentially compete. You know what I'm saying? So the other conferences got to step up and make it and do something. They can't. I just don't see where you can sit idly by if you're Ohio State and these other, USC. Quite frankly, that Pac-12 needs to be put to rest. Because that conference gets nothing, no benefit from playing that West Coast. They're on TV where at times where the major population, remember, football is king in the South. Everybody that watches football, for the most part, you're talking about these southern states. Your biggest audience is asleep when USC and Oregon and these teams are playing at 11 o'clock at night, but it's only, 8 o'clock or whatever the case is on the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? The USC, in my opinion, and those West Coast teams, they would benefit the most from reaching out to Ohio State, Michigan, Florida State, and saying, hey, let's do something about this, because the way it sits now, the Pac-12 has the Pac-12 had a playoff team yet? Somebody answer that for me. Has the Pac-12 had a playoff team yet? I'm trying to think. They've had Oregon the first year didn't make the national championship, but I think that's it, right? Pac-12's had one playoff team. Pac-12 needs to disband that thing, and they, quite frankly, Pac-12, the ACC, and the Big Ten, in my opinion, with just Ohio State, isn't going to cut it. The college football world is realigning. College football is changing by the day. NLI now, players are making money. Now you got the mega conferences. It's time to start the mega conference war, in my opinion. And we just probably need to honestly, college football potentially should just go, especially if we're talking about a 12-team playoff. Let's go 2 major conferences and split the divisions within the conferences. That's the way it's looking right now. But anyway, man, I done went along a little bit longer than I wanted to at 18 minutes. Just giving my thoughts, random thoughts. Check me out Saturday. I'm going to be promoting that soon. I'll do a little community post. But Saturday, me, your boy Pope, and Tay Noel, we're doing our top 25 most. He's going to have his list. I'm going to have my list. We're going to do our top 25 most important Seminoles for the Seminoles to be successful this year. Who are the top 25 players on the team that must, play good for this team to succeed? We're going to be doing that, so look forward to that. And as always, hit the like button, comment, subscribe, and share. That's the main thing you can do to help the channel out is hit the like button and share the videos with people that you think might be interested in what we got rocking over here. But anyways, your boy Pope. I haven't sat in this car for too long. Well, not long enough, really. But it's your boy Poke. And as always, stay classy, Seminoles. And we got you.